So Nina, tell us the importance of using social media as a tool to get a job.
I would say it's super important in this day and age. And it's not just about getting a job. It's about where do you want to grow your career in? Like what's next for you? So social media is like a way for people to get a peek into what you're doing, how good you're doing. And where we are right now is, believe it or not, on LinkedIn, there's 750 million people. And guess how many % of people are looking for jobs on LinkedIn? Just guess.
90% of that number.
Okay, believe it or not, it's only 30%, and the remainder yes. So what the heck is the 70% doing, right? So the 70% are actually there to network, to learn from professionals and leaders, and and also for sales. So with our students, because we train people how to position themselves online on LinkedIn especially. So our students are there because they want to build an authority for themselves. They want to be the industry leader. They want to position themselves. They're also looking to generate sales, and LinkedIn is such a fantastic platform to generate sales. And the people are there for jobs, and not just jobs, but for career growth as well. What's next for them? Because it literally gives the eyeballs on you, not just within your company, but outside as well.
Wow. Okay. So I guess does that work for the employers as well? So if you think about it, why do employers today prefer using or putting their trust in platforms like LinkedIn and Facebook when it comes to looking for people or hiring?
I would say I'm not too sure about LinkedIn, so we got to ask Amien on that. Sorry, not LinkedIn, sorry, Facebook, but definitely for LinkedIn. LinkedIn has become sort of like this pipeline where companies are using to sort of showcase their brand as an employer. I did not even know there's this thing called employer branding, and why people would want to work there. You know what I mean? So employers like are doing this right now. And then when you create like this cool environment and you showcase it on social media, you have like all these people waiting to apply, to apply for jobs with you. So when the time comes, you don't need to start looking for people. It's already there. So one, it's a pipeline. But the other beautiful thing about LinkedIn is that, if you're advertising on jobs, like a couple of years ago, and even now, you would put out that message. It's like a message board, and then whoever who sees it will be able to see it, So it's kind of like a broadcast where it's like a triangle, whereas with LinkedIn, it's the other way. Who are you looking for? You're basically filtering 750 million people, and you're finding your, what do you call it? Your ideal target candidate,
right,
and not
funnel.
Just that. Yeah, it's a funnel thing. Thank you very much. It's crazy, and it's not just that. With the data and the algorithm and stuff like that. So let's say JD is leaving his job at Astro, we can find a JD replacement using the lookalike audience. So
they found one already. They've already found.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
JD lookalike me. Gosh, that's crazy. So
yeah.
I don't even know where to go from here, because this is like blowing my mind a little bit about, having this sort of out there as what you expect to be just something that you just post up going, this is my day at work. And it's not like that at all.
It is. People are doing that. So we've got, okay, I'll give you some example. There's a girl, this is Amin's favorite girl. She is an engineer with Schlumberger, yeah. And there's another engineer, she's with BP, and they're brand new executives that just came into work. So they showcase their life. She's an engineer on an oil rig. So she just posts like natural pictures and what she does. She doesn't even talk about the company, but the company's brand is behind there. She's got 20,000 followers, and she's teaching people online how to do their CV, how to do their profiles online. And then the other girl got a job because she was using LinkedIn, the girl in BP. And yesterday she got 1,000 new connections on LinkedIn within a week.
What?
Yeah, and those are young people. We've also got like somebody who's the VP of culture in Celcom, and he's going online and he's creating videos and educating people about culture and whatnot, how to build culture in corporate companies. And then you also have this guy, Mr. Lee, he's the Citibank Citibank CEO of Malaysia, but now he's with Singapore. And during COVID, he was coming out with videos on leadership and how to survive through hard times and stuff like that. So these are all like beacons of hope and inspiration for people out there. So it's such an amazing platform.
That's amazing. I mean, Nina was saying that you could tell us what was going on with, am I too loud?
You're too soft.
Too soft, okay. That's weird. Sorry. Amien, tell us about Facebook. I mean, we've heard about the platforms and the different bits and bobs that sort of you can get done on LinkedIn, but what about Facebook?
I'm going to be very neutral on this because as much as we are very pro LinkedIn, but there's also other different platforms that's available out there. I mean, we have Facebook, we have YouTube, TikTok. Now the hot new things that's coming up in the market right now is Clubhouse, and everyone seems to be coming into Clubhouse now. I would say this, in general, at the end of the day, if you're looking for a job and if you want to position yourself as a brand out there, you need to be consistent in all platforms. That's how I want to take a look at it. So Facebook, I love Facebook as well. I still love it. One of the facts that we cannot ignore when it comes to the number of users in Facebook is much more superior compared to LinkedIn. Okay, so we have only about 5 million plus users in Malaysia compared to almost 20 plus million users of Facebook in Malaysia.
Right.
And that itself already, it tells us a lot in terms of the number wise. The Facebook has been there. They already established themselves. But what I really like about LinkedIn is that it's very targeted to specific group of people, right? So each of these social media platforms, they will have a group of people that you can actually take a look at. So like if you are more hip and more stylish, so it could be Instagram for you, right? TikTok could be the place for you if you are the type of people who loves video, short videos and all that. So for me, I look at all social media platforms as a place where different people will be there, different energy will be there, right? So I will look at it to answer your question on this. If you are looking for jobs and if you want to position yourself in the market, choose a platform that's suitable for you.
Right. Would that be the platform that's also relevant to the kind of work you want to do? Because like what's suitable for me may be something more sort of light and fun, like if I'm a cake baker, for example, but it may not sort of be the platform. Okay, but what about employers? I mean, like in terms of employers looking for people, we understand how a bit better now how LinkedIn may work, but what about other social media platforms? Do employers today prefer using those and putting their trust in other platforms?
I would say LinkedIn would be the place because the tone of voice and the context has already been set on LinkedIn is that when you come into LinkedIn, it's a professional network, it's a professional platform, right? So once you set that context, right? So the kind of behavior that you have is very different. In Facebook, prior to me being in Popcorn, I just use Facebook as a place for me to rent stuff and complain, right? But there's a negative effect to that. The negative effect to that is this. We are very unconscious with what we're communicating on all this platform. So when we become unconscious, what we don't realize is that it can actually affect our brand as well, right? So we need to be very careful in terms of how we are communicating nowadays because it's so easy for us to communicate, but what we are doing right now is that we're misusing it.
Okay, so we're going to be talking about misusing it and using it right. Next, by me asking you guys, how do we create an online presence that screams, hire me, look at me, hire me? Nina.
Oh, me. Okay. Basically, the first things first you want to do is do not ever put the word hire me because that screams desperation.
But in times like this, though, I mean, everyone is kind of desperate, isn't it?
Yeah. Here's the thing. Believe it or not, the 30% of people who are looking for jobs on LinkedIn, employers are hiring the 70%. Okay, we're a bit neutral on this. We actually do not like, we as in me and Amien, I hope Amien agrees with me. We'll see what he says. But basically, like a lot, and I checked in with a couple of employer friends as well. When we see the word hire me, it looks kind of desperate. It also depends. You can literally smell the desperation in how they word their profile. So that's the first thing you want to do. But having said that, LinkedIn's data actually said when you use the hire me, there's a higher chance, there's a higher number that people actually look at you. So what we'd say is with social media, you want to test because you can. It's online. You can do it like give it a month and see what happens, and then you shift.
Because generally on LinkedIn, you don't need to say hire me, but there's a little option that says open to opportunities or something, right?
Yes, there is an option where you can also let you don't have to let your employer know, but you can let recruiters know, because there are
Yes,
people
I
with
have never clicked on that option ever.
oh, no, of course not. Why would you do that, right? Kind of thing.
But did you know when you
yeah,
click on that, right? Your bosses will not know about it. It's only
Yeah.
open for recruiters.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
yeah. So
So-
that one's really good. So the first thing you need to do is you want to have like this super profile, and I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say that, but you want to have a really good profile. Why? You want to have a mixture of stuff which is human search and algorithm search friendly, because LinkedIn search function is amazing. You just type in, and believe it or not, even if you're Santa Claus, we can find you on LinkedIn. Okay. Yes, that's how crazy it is. And so what you want to do is you want to fill up your profile as detailed as possible, and you want to make it look good, because that's the first impression of you. And a lot of people do not fill in their profile. And immediately, like when they come for a class with us, immediately you see like almost 800% views increase with their LinkedIn profile. Some people we have had students who actually closed 1 million just with one session with us. We have had people who got inquired based on their tagline. We've had like one person with less than 100 friends or connections, and she got interviewed like almost like by 4 different people, organizations. So it is about getting your profile sorted, you know. You're a bit soft, cannot hear you.
Okay.
I got here and
Okay, so I mean, Nina was saying, definite no is don't use the hire me button options and stuff. But I wanted to ask you, as you train all the cohorts, what are the biggest don'ts when it comes to using social media to get a job?
Basically, misusing it by just posting ridiculous stuff online.
Okay.
One
Isn't
thing
that
that
subjective? Like what I think is funny is
okay.
ridiculous. Yeah.
One thing that we don't realize is that whatever that we do online is actually a reflection of what we are, who we are, and what we do, right? And it's very subtle. One thing that I really love about social media, no matter either you're LinkedIn, Facebook, or wherever you are, right? It actually humanizes the process of recruitment. So people are watching you all the time. Either you like it or not. If you are, it could be a future employer, it could be a recruiter, it could be an investor that want to invest in a business. It could be anybody, right? But because we have this very easy access to social media, we do a lot of things, stupid stuff there, right? So the profile, like what Nina said, is actually just a window to the world. Besides not doing crazy stuff, maybe what you want to do is you want to repurpose your energy into really thinking and looking into who do you want to be seen online, right? And getting your personal brand clear and looking into what would be your goal in terms of creating value for people. And that is something that a lot of people don't do. And I feel that even before you go into the profile, maybe the first thing you want to do is that look into identifying who are the target people that you wanted to impress. It could be the people that you want to work with, right? And start basically ironing up your personal brand first before you do anything else. That's how I see it.
Okay, so maybe you could put it in sort of easier terms for us to sort of understand by giving us sort of maybe a case study of someone who didn't fully utilize the tools available and how to present themselves and how it adversely affected them versus perhaps what they did to change it, or maybe somebody else who did do it correctly and then, managed to get a great result from it.
Nina, you want to say something? Seems like, okay. So how I see it would be like this. At the end of the day, if you want to get a job, it's still a sales process.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
you're so right. Yeah.
You are selling yourself to someone, and you're basically trying to pitch for someone to get you to become part of your team. Could be that, right? So look at it from that angle. And one of the things that we notice is this: some bad habits. Profiles not complete. The post that you post is not relevant to your value and what you can actually give to people, right? And there's a lot of me, look at me, but you're not looking into what value can actually give to people. Yeah. So those are some of the things you can take a look at.
Was there one particular case that worked out for you? Like you worked with?
Oh yeah, okay. The LinkedIn, as much as it's a professional platform, but I've also seen some stupid posts as well. Like,
Tell us,
so I'll tell you
tell us to
specifically
do it.
what happened. Right?
Yeah, how not to do it and how to do it. Yeah.
Using LinkedIn to undermine someone or create controversy,
Right.
where the whole entire platform is all about professionalism, right? And what you
Mm.
do is that you post stuff where you actually tell people that, hey, this person is doing it wrong, this person is doing this, basically just to create some traction and some cheap publicity. It might work in other platforms, but I don't think it's going to work in LinkedIn. So
Right.
what I love about LinkedIn is that it's the whole professional setup is designed in such a way that it's like this. If you go to Facebook, right, it's like you going to a barbecue party.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
When you go to Facebook, you talk about social stuff, right?
Mm.
JD, you're a Manchester United fan, right?
Yes.
So we talk about footballs.
Yep.
We
Yep.
talk about, right? But when you go to LinkedIn, right, you can still do that, but you need to find a way to tweak it in such a way that it still create value to people.
So
So
how
that's
would a person who's using it right do that?
Example, just a few days ago, I posted this one video about the latest Justice League movie on LinkedIn, right?
Okay.
So Zack Snyder is coming out with the Justice League. So if you take a look at it, the whole context of it is this. What does that have to do with business? And what does that have to do with recruitments and all that, right?
Mm.
But what I do is that I take that and I turn that into a lesson and learning. Hey, you know what? People in Hollywood is repurposing content like this, and it's a very powerful way for them to actually make money, right? We can do that with our content as well. We can repurpose our content. We can take any content that we've done prior to this,
Right.
and turn it into a valuable content. So you turn it into a lesson. It can still be fun, and it's valuable for people, and people can learn it. And you know what? That is one of the highest views that I got for this week, right? Because people can relate to that.
Got it.
Yeah.
So, okay, so the platform, if you're an employer or an employee, is sort of LinkedIn. That is the professional marketplace, as it were, as horrible as it sounds.
I do want to add something. If you want to get hired, there are a couple of don'ts that you really want to stay away from. And number one is you don't want to start as soon as someone connects with you. You don't want to spam them, and by that I mean you don't want to give them a sales speech. That's kind of like a one night stand. We call it a one night stand that didn't even happen. Okay, or in the case of getting a job, is you can get connected with someone, you immediately send them a message, oh, can you hire me, and da. There's a way of doing it in a nice way without it looking spammy and without it looking desperate. Let's just put it that way. You know, you want to showcase your skills as a post, you know, that sort of thing, and story tell your stuff and stuff like that. You want to make what are your skills that people love you for, that you're really great at, and that you can add contribution to the company, that sort of thing.
So it's kind of a little bit more like real life in the sense that other perhaps social media platforms, you can just spam people because there's a sort of distance between you and the person, whereas LinkedIn, it's much more, if you wouldn't do this in real life, you don't do it here. Is that kind of thing?
Don't. And yet a lot of people spam. And another thing that people like to do is they put up a post and they tag all these other people. Even some of the LinkedIn influencers are doing it. I get tagged all the time. I find it offensive. I find it spam. And I don't understand why people do it.
Okay.
Another one is you don't want to get creepy on LinkedIn because it's a professional platform. There's a lot of people who get creepy on LinkedIn. They send all sorts of messages and stuff like that. So that's a big joke among us. Anything. Oh, and you definitely do not want, again, like what Amien said, is here's the thing about social media. It sort of bears your soul out to the world. How you do anything is how you do everything. So we are at this stage where I can read my students' posts and I'm like, okay, what's going on? I'm like, okay, there's something going on. Amien, you got to check in with her. And or Amien will be like, Nina, something's up with this one. This is not okay. You go and have a chat. So we're always like watching, and we can tell. And usually it triggers, because social media is not just social media. The world is a mirror. How you are in here, you're going to attract. So if you're going to be angry and you're in a bad mood, you're hangry, for example, and you say something on social media, somebody's going to come back and give you right back at it. We learned lesson.
Okay.
You know, we like, the only way you can be is just be your authentic, real self. And if you're a nasty person in life, you're going to be nasty online and you're going to attract more nasty people your
So
way.
basically, it's kind of like asking someone out on a date when you're trying to
It
get with
is
someone, right?
exactly like that.
But
Yeah.
the moment you connect with someone, then after that you start talking about me only, and then you want to have a conversation with that person, and the best way to find out what they want is to let them talk, right?
Yes,
So-
exactly.
All right.
You want to, and here's the thing: you are asking the recruiters on a date. You know what I mean? Yeah, but a lot of people, like what Amien said, they post irrelevant stuff, and some of them post things that, you know, the Malays will say tidak berkenaan dengan hidup atau bayar mati. Like, hello, how's that doing you a favor? You know, kind of thing. Yeah.
So
Or
that's the
they
problem.
don't post. They don't post.
If you're creepy in real life, generally, that means you're going to be creepy on social media as well. So then
Exactly.
generally, the work, you're not going to get a job if you're a creep anyway. Generally,
Yeah,
right?
just to add to that, whatever social media you're in, either your LinkedIn, Facebook, and all that, right? Those are just platform. At the end of it, the core of it is you.
Yeah.
You as a human, right? And how you behave online is exactly
You are in life.
right. So bosses, recruiters, employers, they will look at how you utilizing all this platform, and they will make sense of it. Say, you know, it's not just resume anymore, because when you're sending a resume, we know this for a fact already that most resumes are lies.
Right.
But your activities online, that's an information.
Yeah, it gives a window into your soul, and let's face it, that's what we want to see in a candidate. All you have to do is just look back at all the posts that, ooh, this person's a potential leader. I want to check in on them. And do you know that there are apps out there where based on whatever you post, we can tell what kind of integrity you have, what kind of leadership skills you have, what kind of personality you have?
Oh, I'm already sweating now.
I'm just going to post on social media now. I'm a leader. Tomorrow, I'm a leader.
Doesn't work. Doesn't
Every
work.
day.
You probably have some lack worthiness
I
thing there.
think this guy wants to be a leader.
But fail.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, JD perfectly summed it up as, you're asking someone out on a date, the idea of networking, but how do we then build a network correctly?
I mean, we'll answer that.
First, it's not about the numbers. You need to start operating from that first. Okay.
It's
And
not
one of
about the
the
numbers.
most celebrated thing that we a lot of people get this wrong. With other social media, what we do is that we celebrate the numbers. Like in Facebook, oh, you know what? I just got 20,000 followers. Yay, good job, well done. Okay, great. But that's not the game if you're doing that on LinkedIn, right? In LinkedIn, it's more quality engagement. You want to not be creepy by just sending the connection request. You know, there's this one feature in LinkedIn where you just want to connect, you just press connect.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people does that, right? But here's the thing, that's an indicator of your behavior. You just wanted to connect with me and you just want to take from me, but you know what? Where's the transaction here, right? You got to give something to me. So you want to be a little bit more proactive by just maybe perhaps sending a personalized message, right? Tell your intention and be sincere about it.
Which you can actually put in the connect.
Yeah.
So you can add a message.
Exactly.
Yes.
You
when
can
you're
personalize the
connecting.
message. So when you personalize the message, it basically tells, I mean, come on, it's just like dating, right? You need to put a little bit of effort. That's it. If you just
Yes.
Look at me, I'm good
you're just
looking.
doing that, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
You need to add the butter and the kaya to the bread.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. And you, okay, here's another tip, which is super important. You want to sound chillax, but depends on who you're talking to. You want to sound respectful, but you also want to sound like a human and not like some, okay, LinkedIn's a business professional platform. A lot of people are very professional. It's also seen as boring and constipated. That's how we say it. But if you look at it as our brand is so different, we just embrace ourselves, and that's what we tell our students, kind of thing. So like me, when I connect to someone, but then again, I can usually get away with murder. So I'll go like, hey, JD, checking out your profile, loved it. Would love to understand more about you and what you do and the industry you're in through your posts. So it's very non-committal. Yeah. Like I'm not asking you to marry me. on the first request, we're just like not even dating. It's
Oh, I
probably like a
see.
coffee thing,
When
you
you're
know?
when you're asking for too much, it seems like I don't
Of
even
course
know
not.
you yet, but hey,
Yeah.
want to get married? I see. Okay.
Yeah, you get what I mean? It's like you do not have permission. You
Okay.
wanna, it's like a date. You wanna do it slowly, before you know it, you're like, oh my God, I'm in
So
love,
just
you know?
clicking connect, basically, you're actually pushing people away even more so sometimes
Yeah.
without even.
Without a
Depends.
message.
Like I'm at this stage where I'm just like tired. I just connect. So and it really depends. Like if there's like oh, by the way, we connect with international speakers. We've got I've gotten, you know, is it Mark Higgins from Shark Tank actually respond to one of my comments on his post. Yeah, so that's why it's so amazing, kind of thing. You can actually be speaking to somebody that you really, really look up to, and they respond to you, kind of thing. So that's why LinkedIn is just so amazing for me. Yeah.
So let me ask you then, maybe Amien is the right person to answer this. You know, we're out of work, you know, it's pandemic, need to find a job. How do I use my network, or who should I be networking with?
Okay. First thing, if you are looking for a job, step number one, update your profile first. Okay. I'm going back to the basics.
It's always
right?
profile
Yes,
first. Okay.
Handle the profile first, because
Right.
why? That's the window of the world for all these recruiters, all the future bosses that is going to be hiring you, all of that, right?
Mm.
Make sure the profile is handled. Then start connecting. Connect with recruiters. Connect with future employers. Check out their company page. What's going on? What I love about LinkedIn is that there's a whole bunch of search function where you can actually look for jobs directly on LinkedIn. Start getting curious. Get involved. Don't just be passive and hope for things to happen, but you need to engage, right? I would say this: go and connect with most of the influencers on LinkedIn. There's a whole bunch of Malaysians who are very active boss. And we're talking about CEOs of companies, right? I mean,
Mm.
come on. Even our finance minister is in LinkedIn right now, and he's very active on LinkedIn, right? We have a whole bunch of CEOs who's very active there. Get connected to all of them.
Mm.
Be in a position where you want to just engage and engage and engage and look for opportunities. That's what you want to do.
Okay, so let me ask you this question, because like the old way of thinking, and a lot on other social media platforms, for example, you know, people sort of want to be judged on their own merit and what they're sort of doing. And what you're sort of saying is, actually what's more important is being connected to the right people. So could you kind of explain how that works, or why that works?
You can just search for them. The search function on LinkedIn is super powerful. Just by typing CEO itself in Malaysia, you get like millions of responses for that. One of the things that I also do is that once I get connected, right, I look for some of the influencers that's available. There's actually a list of influencers in Malaysia that's very active. You can actually check out the Marketing in Asia list of top influencers in Malaysia in 2020, 2019. Get connected to all of those people, right? And start getting engaged with what they put online. Because here's the thing, when you're engaging with them, most of the time when they're posting something, there will be a lot of comments and also inputs from a lot of people, right? You want to get connected to all of these comments, get engaged with all of this conversation. That's how you put yourself up there, right? The more you do this, the more people will know you, right? That's a very simple step that you can actually do. Just get engaged.
Definitely. And there's another thing that works on LinkedIn, which is so like for me, mind blown. Like let's say I'm trying to get a job with you guys, right? Kind of thing, but I'm not connected to you, but Amien is connected to Asha. So what I do is if Asha doesn't want to accept my connection, I become friends with Amien. And then because I'm a first connection or second connection from Asha will start seeing my post. And that is how powerful it is.
So what you guys are saying is actually, it's not so much being connected to the right people, but basically the connection with the right person puts you in their eyesight.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. Yeah. So it's not just the first level, it's second level as well. Like, Amien, I think, tried to connect with some CEO and he hasn't been accepting. And Amien was like, ugh. So we're like, ooh, be friends with the other person that he's friends with. And then he's going to see your post. So I've actually had huge CEOs and whatnot seeing my content because I'm friends with certain CEOs kind of thing. So that is sort of one. And then I think your question was based on merit, meaning like how good you are, your real skills. We've got major issues with it. You should ask Amien. When we first found out about LinkedIn, there were certain people who were considered LinkedIn influencers, lots and thousands of followers, considered like God, but in real life, we know they suck. We know that in trainings, people walk out because they're not good. But on LinkedIn, they're like God. So what we teach our students is that it pays to prasan. That's one of the commandments at Popcorn. In this day and age, as Asians especially, we are brought up to not talk about ourselves. Like if you're really good, people will talk about you. It does not happen in this day and age of social media because everybody's busy selling themselves, their perspectives and stuff like that. So what you want to do is it is your responsibility to talk about yourself, because if you don't, somebody else out there will hire the wrong person. Somebody else out there will buy the wrong products. So it is your responsibility to help these people make the right decisions, but they can't if you do not speak up, if you do not create content, that sort of thing. So it is your responsibility to do so. And so that's why we say it pays to be conceited, it pays to perasan, but you better have the skills to back it up, because otherwise you're just like, all these people that we have issues with. Yeah.
So, gosh, that's a chicken in someone's background.
Oh, that would be me. Sorry.
No problem. Nina likes her eggs fresh.
Organic.
Okay, in your opinion, right, who should be using social media as a means to secure employment? Because that's one of the biggest problems facing everybody at the moment.
I will look at it from this angle, right? If you're really jobless right now, get into LinkedIn. That's one platform where people are hunting and recruiters are really looking for candidates, right? If you are not looking, right, put your profile up, update it, right, and basically position yourself and make sure that people see you, right? So either you like it or not, people will judge you. So better make sure that everything, just go out there and just do something about it, right? So if you're looking for a job, this is what we highly recommend. Start getting in, get connected to people, right? Engage in conversation on a daily basis. Start posting. I think one of the challenge that people have is creating content. Right? Creating.
I am a content maker and I have trouble creating content, so I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to start, because the thing about creating content is this: you just need to start and you improve along the way, right? So if you're not started and you try to look into, I need to create the perfect post for me to attract people, that's not going to work for you, right? It's a consistent thing, because the more you put it, and what we do with our students, we tell them, do this Monday to Friday, every day, one post a day. Simple as that. Just share, give value to people, and start looking into maybe giving advice, giving some tips to people, and just get seen. So if you are an engineer, for example, maybe you can give some engineering tips. If you are in the media agency before this, right, maybe you can give us some tips on how to do that, right? So give tips, just share, so that people start seeing you. That's one of the things you can do.
It's all about getting visible.
I would say that I think everybody should be on social media, and especially people, like, even if you're studying, LinkedIn, you can be on LinkedIn 16 years and above, depending on the country's regulation. So if I'm not mistaken, from Malaysia, it's 16 and above. So I wish I had LinkedIn when I was younger, because I'm such an overachiever. I'm one of those people who keep all my certs in a place and stuff like that. And I've got versions of CVs, kind of thing. So I wish I had all that, because I had written it down so awesomely in my life, Right. So, and here's the thing, the AI picks it up. So if you volunteered and you raised funds when you were in uni, all these things become your history level, and people can search for you and they can see your skills. It's there. So
it's a live CV, a live resume. Okay.
And here's the thing, you do not want to wait until you lose your job to start building your profile. You want to start building it out now, because like you say, it's a live thing. So you want to fill it up. So you don't wait for SHIT to happen. You want to start now. Okay. And here's the thing about creating content as well. It is it's not about making it perfect. It's about putting it out there and getting better at it. And for you to get better at it, you have to practice it. You have to be comfortable with it. And version 1 is better than version 0. Version 100 is going to be so much better than version 0.
Okay.
Just to add to that, look at it from this angle. Yeah, even if you're not looking, right, you want to be in a position where if anything happens to you, you have options.
Yes.
Right. So you don't want to be in a position where, oh man, now I don't have anything, right? So now I'm starting. So it's going to be a struggle for you. Let's just be frank about it. It's not going to be an overnight thing. Right? The moment you are looking, it will take time. Right.
So better to be proactive than reactive then.
Definitely.
Definitely.
And there's another data. How many people are like creating content on LinkedIn?
1% of the total population. There's 740 plus, almost 750 million users of LinkedIn around the world.
That's crazy.
Only 1% are creating content. So imagine this: if you are creating content and you're posting daily, right, you'll be one of those 1%. 90% are lurkers.
Think how many eyeballs you can be under.
But please come up with good content, because sometimes some of the content I look at, I'm like, oh wow, that was 5 minutes I'll never get back. You know?
Exactly.
But you know, that boring piece of content about accounting, for example, is totally relevant to somebody else.
No,
right?
It's not about that. It's not about boring content.
Yeah.
It's about content that is irrelevant and has no bearing, and also it's not even accurate. Okay. It's stuff like that I have an issue with.
Okay,
just to add to this, another tip that I want to give to those who are looking for a job now, guys, get connected with your alumni in LinkedIn. All right. So your university alumni, I was just looking back at the whole thousands of people in my universities. I have like people that's in a CEO position right now, HR position. Get connected to all of them, right? Because you never know what's going to happen.
Right.
It's the easiest way for you to start. I know Tina is like killing it on her alumni.
No, I'm killing it even before because I'm the secretary, so they listen to me. So, but the cool thing about LinkedIn is that it actually states like what year you were in uni and whether you were there at the same time or not, and not just for uni but at workplace as well. So it's awesome. I also want to share one of the results that was mind-blowing for me. One of our students is a financial planner. So when she started with us, she was having local clients, but suddenly as she created content, she started getting international views, and she got inquiries from people overseas. And today she has moved to a new firm because she's looking for a firm that is able to cater for international products and international clients. So she told us that if it wasn't for, joining our program, she might not even be doing financial planning anymore because she didn't see hope in it. But now she's at this stage where she's dreaming bigger, that she can cater for a bigger audience because of her experience on LinkedIn. So we were like, whoa,
That's just nuts. That's just a possibility that everyone has a chance to get, right? So just let me ask you this. There's a lot of us who are older, okay, and a lot of people who, are unable to grasp the concept of using social media to find a job, to go back to work, okay? In a nutshell, what's your elevator sales pitch to them about social media and using that as the vehicle for them to get what they want?
So can I answer that? Right.
Please.
So you want to focus on a social media that's easy for you to use, right? And it doesn't take a lot of effort compared to all the other social media platforms. That's the reason why we recommend LinkedIn, because, one of the advantage of LinkedIn is this. If you want to be seen and want to be visible on all the other social media platforms, let's just say Facebook, right? You need to post as many content as you can for you to be able to be seen, because of the algorithm and because of a lot of other things as well. So Facebook right now is at a stage where they are very comfortable and they're trying to monetize as much as they can. While platforms
that means make money.
They just want, right now it's just about making money, right? So you need to pay for ads in order for you to be seen, and so on, so on, so on. But when it comes to LinkedIn, I would say there's a few platforms, right? LinkedIn, Clubhouse, TikTok. These are the few platforms that I would start now, because it's growing. You want to look for a platform that is growing, and it's an organic growth. The thing about LinkedIn is this: in order for you to be seen, you just need to be posting a minimum of maybe 3 posts in a week.
Okay.
Right?
Wow. Okay.
That's it. Just consistently, regularly, 3 posts, 1 post Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. That's it. If you're planning, we're looking into strategy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that would be very easy for someone who's starting. Okay, and profile, it's super easy to update it. Okay, there's apps that you can use, and anyone can use it. I mean, there's a lot of YouTube tutorials out there for you to start. I mean, just start. Right now, the most important part is to be in gear 1, because in order for you to be gear 6, gear 1 is the most important process.
Right.
At the end of the day, it's about basic things. And what we would say is get your profile, get connected with people, and start creating content. Because the content, if you think about it, it's like the ads going on radio. The number of time it goes out, the more people remember you. So you want to create as much content as you can. And with LinkedIn, it's really easy. Start with 3, and you don't even need to do video to stand out. A simple post and a photo is good enough. And just because you're older doesn't mean, and you don't know social media doesn't mean it's the end of the world. No. We actually, although we've been using social media since 2000, God knows what, we only figured things out and started getting really involved like about 4 years ago. And believe it or not, the Facebook queen, this lady who's known as the Facebook queen, and she teaches people, she is like 60 years old or something like that. Super famous. And she only learned in her older age because I need to understand this. And we love her. Everybody adores her. Anything. So old is not a factor.